Hello everyone, welcome back to TinaTeach, the Python series. Our goal for lesson number 2 is we'll be looking more into variables and the different ways that we can create, name, and assign their values, as well as learning about the different types of values that we can assign to them, or at the very least the common ones. First off, creating variables. So there's no command for declaring a variable. As I've mentioned in lesson number 1, I'll link it up here. A variable is created the moment you assign it a value. Now I have a bit of a demonstration here. We have the variable x with the integer 10. For the variable y, we have again 10, but since we have quotes over here, this is a string, not an integer. And if we print x, it'll return 10. If we print y, it will return, once again, 10. They may look the same, but they're actually of different types. Now, if you want to check whether or not a certain value is of a type, it's very simple. You can use the command type, all right? You have it nestled within print and make sure to open and close the parentheses accordingly. So this will return int for integer. I'm just writing it here, but I will demonstrate this to you in the command line or ideally in a bit. And for y, it will return string. There we go. Now, casting. For casting, you sort of just specify a type. You input the value regardless of how you write the value. It will be converted to the type that you specified it as. So with x here, right, instead of writing x equals 3, you just type in string and it will make the number 3 a string. Same with y, it will make the number 3 an integer. And as for float, it will make the number 3 a decimal. Float is for decimal, really. Int is integers, it's whole numbers. And now as you can see here, instead of writing print x, print y, and print c on different lines, I ran out of space, frankly, and I've written them all in one line separated with a semicolon. You can actually do this in your code. It's just sort of a very quick way to test out or to experiment codes. It's not really recommended as a way to write your programs. Next up, quotes. Now, do you use double or do you use single quotes? To be honest, either ones are fine. Next up, the concept of case sensitivity. So with Python, a capitalized letter is not the same as an undercapitalized letter. Now, variable x is not the same as variable x. Now, I have a little bit of code here. We'll execute this ideally in a bit. Here we have variable x equals 3. If we print x, it will return 3. Now we have a capitalized x here. If we print this one, it will return 4, right? So they're being treated as two different things. Now, what happens if you do otherwise? Here we have x once again. It is a string called hi. If we print it, we'll have hi. Now, we write the same variable, but we assigned it a value of 5. And now we print it, it will be 5, right? But if you capitalize this x, this will return hi, because it's not the same thing. Now for our Python number 2 demonstration, it's all about variables, right? First, let's create a simple variable, x with the integer of 10. Oh, I'm actually going to use the semicolon so you can see how it works. Y for, let's say, hello. Z for, let's do a float or a decimal. Enter. Now you print x, y, and then z. It returns that. Now let's try printing the type. Print type x, right? Oh, almost forgot here. Print, semicolon, print, type y, print, type z. All right. For x, we have int for integer. For y, we have string. And for z, we have float. Now let's explore the case sensitivity property of Python. Now I have, let's say I have the variable drinks, and I will make my drinks a milkshake. All right, milkshake. And I have drinks as coffee, and then drinks with water. Okay, now I'm gonna print all of them. Drinks, drinks, and drinks. As you can see, these are all treated differently. Now, if it were the same capitalization, they are seen as the same variable. Therefore, if you type the same variable again and you change the value will be changed. Now, that sounds a bit confusing because of the way I'm saying it. I'm just going to demonstrate it since it is a very simple concept. Let's use the variable fruit, orange. Okay, now let's go down here, print, fruit, you have orange. Now I type the same variable again, but I change it to apple. Now I print fruit, that is apple, right? Now let's make it fruit. I'm going to change it to, let's see, papaya. Now I print fruit again, it is still apple. But if I print fruit, I get papaya. Okay, now last but not least, variable casting. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and let's say I want x to be a string of 10, y to be an int of 10, and z to be a float 10. Let's see. Now I'm going to print all of their types. X, type Y, type Z. That's it. Now you have, obviously, string for X, and integer for Y, and float for Z. Alright, thank you for being here with me today. I hope to see you next time. Learn today, better tomorrow. Goodbye.